Juba's High School Challenge, recording on a Sunday night, a very warm, hot Sunday night, very late on. I'm just going to wrap this up before going to bed. Spent most of the evening playing this. Been a bit busy the last few days, also, so I had to kind of like cram in a bit of a session right at the end. But this is my run on, what was it called again? Chelnov, the Atomic Runner, I think it's called, by Data East. A game I've never heard of before, but it's a very interesting one. It's kind of like it's running along, being the Atomic Runner, Chelnov is, and you shoot stuff, collect stuff, and sort of just try and make it to the end of the level. Easy as that. Well, it would be if there weren't so many enemies and things to trip you up along the way. So yeah, there's different choices of weapons. I've just picked up the boomerangs there, which I find is really my preferred weapon, I think, overall. There's some kind of spikeable things there, but I've avoided them because they're quite slow. They don't seem to sort of do that much damage, so I've just kind of like ignored those, really. But the boomerang's pretty reliable. They quite rapid fire, decent damage, and they kind of come back to you as well, which can sometimes just help you snag those enemies a little bit easier. So here I'm just running through level 1. It takes a little bit of getting used to this game. You have a jump button, a shoot button. You can sort of like you can kind of like pause yourself, so you sort of go back towards the back of the screen if you hold back, of course, but you can't actually go backwards, so you kind of like always being pushed forward onto the next bit. But as well as you standard running and jumping and shooting, you've also got a button which changes direction as well. So you press the button and your character does a 180 and faces the other way, and runs backwards as well. It does take some getting used to that. The amount of times that's jumping instead of turning around, or vice versa, like you're turning around instead of jumping. It took a long while before that kind of became like second nature in a way. So it does take a bit of getting used to. Nothing unreasonable at all, but it's a kind of like mechanic which I don't see very often in games. But no, it's all the more interesting for it. There are different sort of power-ups to your weapon as well. I'm picking up various ones. There's J for increases your jump height. If you get a yellow up, it increases the distance. If red, I think, is the firepower, and blue might make you go faster or something. I wasn't 100% sure on that. But you collect a couple of each of those, and you're well on your way firepower-wise. So first off, a boss there is easy enough. You can take him down after he's barely got the shot in, but straight on to level 2. It's with a little bit of practice, these first couple of levels are I'd say fairly straightforward. It's you can do them not in your sleep once you've had a bit of practice, but it's pretty straightforward once you've had a few attempts. I say that I was losing quite a few lives in the first level earlier for some bizarre reason. It's very odd, but once I got out of that out of my system, it was alright. So nice. I do like the graphics in this. Like they're quite simple, but it is an old game. But like the characters in the background there, these kind of foresty things, it's sort of slightly alien as well. These interesting hands coming out of the ground, strange monsters hanging off the trees and stuff, just throwing crap at you. So it's visually for its time, I think it's pretty good. Yeah, I do like it, and the animation on Chelnov as well. It's very smooth. and it's something quite graceful as well about the way he sort of like jumps and sort of somersaults as well if you hold the direction when jumping. So all in all, sort of like quite impressive. It runs smoothly. It looks good. It's action packed, and it's most importantly a fun game to play as well. I have enjoyed this one. There is an element of like memory test in a way, really, but that can be said for most games. There are certain bits which you kind of need to be aware of what's coming, or certainly helps. There's some bits in particular which I'll talk about in due course when we get to them. I've picked up the kind of like this spike ball sort of chain thingy just here, just to make this end of level boss coming up slightly easier. It's not the most difficult boss in the world anyway, but I was getting caught out sometimes for some reason. But this particular weapon just makes it a piece of pie. So I've opted for this weapon temporarily instead of my usual boomerangs. But yeah, this is all as I mentioned. This is all sort of like quite casual, really, up to this point. Once you've had a little bit of practice, and there's the boss, easy as anything. Pardon me. Right, level 3. Trying to remember what's on this level now. Yeah, I dare say it gets slightly more challenging, but it's not until after this level where the difficulty ramps up. I would say it certainly gets a bit more tricky after this level. What I do want to do here as well, I do want to change my weapon as soon as I can, really, because there's a bit coming on later on in the level where I don't want this weapon, and there's a homing missile there which I've also avoided because I wasn't having much luck with that. It's very good, and it does have its particular use late on in the game at the end, but I found it quite slow, and sometimes I was just getting caught out because the rate of fire wasn't fast enough. So I've kind of just avoided that. So yeah, this run I thought I had switched out my weapon, but I hadn't. Yeah, so it's kind of like I'm having to deal with this enemy with a weapon which is not ideal for the situation. It's just it doesn't inflict enough damage quickly enough. And I'm not quite hitting him there. And if I get squashed, I actually sort of took him out just with the last swipe there, but I do actually lose a life there. Never mind. Alright. I think it's started me sort of just past that point or something. I don't have to fight the that kind of mid-level boss again, which is a shame because I may well have been able to get some extra bonus points if I had, but onwards we go. I'm quite tired. As I said, I'm going to bed after this video. I'm quite tired. I had quite a large one yesterday, and I've got a bit busy week ahead coming up as well, so it's gonna. I'd better get some. I'd better get some proper rest before the week starts, but not before I post this video, of course. Yes, been a bit of a heat wave recently. It was nice being out and about yesterday. I think it would be nice if it was slightly cooler in the days ahead. I've not had a closer look at the weather forecast, so I'm not sure. It's slightly stifling, I would say, but sunshine is generally pleasant. So. Ooh, that's close. Very nearly got hit. Fairly straightforward boss. I was getting caught out just by an occasional shot from that turret, but managed to do it at that time without losing a life. Right, level 4. Yeah, now. Pardon me. Yeah, well, might as well mention at this point. Unfortunately, I don't want to CC this. With a little bit more time and practice, I could have. I do get very far in this run. I was able to get to the end with credit feeding it. And there's a couple of bits which you just kind of like need to get down to a T, really. Or sort of just be able to sort of react, sort of be on the ball for them. And I was getting to the point where I'd kind of mastered them just about, but it's still, of course, the big challenge of putting everything together in one run. And sadly, I did sort of fall slightly short of it. I'll talk about that a bit more further ahead. So I just took out the mid-level boss there. That's potentially tricky if you lose a life. You do, but there is a way of sort of like getting through it. Okay, if you do, it just makes it awkward, sort of like having to avoid it until you get to the end of that section. Yeah, those coins, by the way, they're yes, some of the drops are like these coins, and they're actually sort of worth sort of quite a few points. Some of them are worth like as many as 5,000. I think last one was 2,000, but definitely worth getting. I was proper. I had quite a heavy one yesterday, and I needed some. I needed some fuel before attempting my run on this, and I went down to Greg's and I proper stuffed my face full of junk food. I might want those pizza slices they've got, which are very nice actually. I didn't like them at first. They're sort of oddly sweet, but yeah, do get a taste of them. And had a sausage roll, and I brought a pack of cookies as well, a 4-pack, and I've eaten them all. I know I shouldn't, but what want to start couldn't stop. So it's just like overdose on Greg's, but it's kind of what I needed actually. So I was right in the mood for some junk food. Last boss, by the way, is just similar to the one level 2. Actually, a bit easy in some ways. Pretty straightforward. Yeah, this level is a bit of a bitch, really. There's a couple of bits in particular which they're very memorable, shall we say. I'll talk about those. Straightforward enough so far. Right, this bit here, you kind of do want to be sort of towards the front of the screen, because there's those sort of like platforms where you get these blokes with the shields, but you've also got the enemies on the slope which sort of jump up, and depending on where you are, they can catch you with their shots. So it's best to be forward on the screen on that particular section. That helps me a lot doing that. Now it's kind of like chilled out a bit again. I'm avoiding the missile again, just because like the rate of fire, and it's not well suited for this bit here. Each of these takes like 8 hits to the to its column thingy, which is particularly tricky with the smallest ones because it can drop on you before we can get clear. It's a bit awkward as well. Sometimes you do a shot and it goes through it, so you're trying to count how many times you've hit it, and sometimes it misses it, and sometimes it might go through it and sort of like hit the one like beyond it. So you're thinking, shit, like I've got to hit this one 7 more times, and when I get to the next one, I've got to hit that sort of 6 more times, or however many you might have accidentally hit it before. So it's a bit tricky, that bit. Okay. Alright, I think we're coming up to the very, very difficult bit. So I'm not sure if that weapon could be useful on this end boss coming up. Maybe I didn't want to let go of my boomerangs, but got another one of those things anyway. But this bit here, when you lose a life on level 4, which is inevitable, you kind of have to go back and repeat this bit, and you do need to get it down to a T. So a lot of practice went into sort of mastering that bit. I mean, probably made it look easy there, but I assure you it's not. Right, this guy's a right bastard. So he's got his like neck attack, which is fair enough, not jump out of the way easy enough. But if you get too close, he just sort of swoops in and kills you straight away. And if you get too far away, he launches those sort of green things, and he in fact did that and did a swoop as well, which takes the piss really. You can't really get out of the way of the swoop unless you're lucky enough to just be jumping at the right time. But yeah, you can't react to it. So you're always sort of trying to sort of like keep it at a particular distance to sort of not trigger some of his attacks. And once you lose a lot, you sort of have to go through that difficult bit again, and sort of like back again with not a particularly powered up weapon. If you jump on his noggin when he does his head attack, you can trigger it triggers a swoop which you can dodge, and then you sort of like you hit him when he comes up again the other side. But that in itself is also difficult. Like it doesn't really sort of like give you much of a window to land on his head. And lo and behold, he took me out again. But yeah, this particular bit of the game, it's kind of like this is where you can just very easily just lose all your lives. Just tumble. There we go. Yeah, sort of landed on his head there. That was just lucky. That was lucky. I dodged that. You can get a laser just through his like neck area, just about sometimes. I think you can get a cheeky hit in there. But yeah, again, I'm keeping my distance here because he again, if I get too close, he'll swoop and kill me straight away. So you can't just like go in and those green things are a nightmare to dodge as well. So here I am, last life, against this absolute pain of a boss. Right, but I managed to get through. Yeah. Getting some hits in. See, your heart just sinks. You see the green things come out because they are really difficult to dodge as well. Yeah, sort of. No. When I saw those, I was thinking, right, that's game over. But unfortunately, it's just like just in the right position, so I was able to dodge him. And amazingly, took the boss out and onto the next level. So that was I was very pleased about that, because that's like one of the that's possibly the biggest challenge in the whole game. So it's a bit of a shame I couldn't go on and complete it, but I was very pleased nonetheless that I did take that boss out. So this bit tricky at first, but you do get used to it. Okay, you just gotta have faith that you'll be able to sort of make the jumps all right. These things are a bit awkward. Not so bad when you've got a powered up weapon. You just got that extra thickness on your shots and stuff. Very much a pain if you just got your standard weapon. Trying to remember what's coming up here. What a way to go. I picked up the missile thingy, but it's just like I didn't mean to, and I wasn't able to fire fast enough to take out the enemy in front of me. It's such a shame. There's one more particularly difficult bit just coming up ahead of that. The final boss itself isn't too bad, but yeah, there's one particularly tricky bit with these turrets which pop up. There's quite a few of them which come quite quickly. But anyway, that's my score, 255,550. Yeah, pleased with that, and pleased to defeat the skeleton pterodactyl bugger thing. So happy with that. Okay.